What is going on, individual? Back again with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Houston Astros. Now, this team has been one of the most successful franchises, at least in recent history. I mean, they seem to get to the playoffs about every single season. Take a look at their last 5 seasons. It's actually insanely big. I can't fit it on the screen. That's how crazy they have been winning. But obviously in 2022, they won the World Series, right? Statement year, for them. They didn't really lose in the American League and then barely even lost to the Phillies even. So you guys won so many awards that season. So definitely a dominant year. And they made the playoffs dating back to 2017 when they won their first World Series, obviously beating the Dodgers in the whole cheating, fashion, which kind of sucked. Yeah, they made the playoffs pretty much every single season, and last season obviously wasn't the best for them. Obviously they still were a good team, right? Winning their division in the West and obviously losing to the Tigers, unfortunately. So that was kind of a down year for them, at least compared to their years past. But moving into 2025, to me, it looks like their offseason wasn't as good. Like they lost a lot of guys, which we're going to talk about. I mean, I think the team isn't going to be as competitive, to be honest, as they were in 24. But this division, once again, isn't that hard either. So there's also that factor. But let's go talking about their top 100 prospects. We're going to be starting with their only guy in the top 100, which is Cam Smith. He's currently in AA right now. He's currently ETA 2026. But yeah, he only played 32 games. He was obviously traded from the Cubs, obviously, to the Astros. Not sure exactly what trade he was in. I think he was in the Isaac Padres trade that actually happened. So I think that's where they got him. Only played 32 games, batted a .313. So definitely really solid. And he had 36 hits. So once again, about a hit per game. So really good player. Definitely excited to see how he does with the Astros now moving forward. But that is the only guy in the top 100. They don't have anyone else either. So not a lot of prospects on this team, which is kind of concerning because they did trade a lot. So, maybe that's where they all went. Yeah, only one prospect in the top 100, and they don't really have anyone for this season. So that's kind of unfortunate. Let's take a look at their contract situation where a lot of their money is being spent. Obviously, they're still paying Altuve this crazy contract. This was the contract extension, actually, they gave him. So that he's still paying this one off. Obviously, he's a franchise player for them, so it makes sense. Yordan Alvarez is still on his contract from 2023. They're still paying Josh Hader's contract, which is definitely not worth it all these years. Then we got Lance McCullers and Christian Javier on their contracts as well. Flammer Valdez is still on that contract. Victor Caratini still has a contract. Isaac Padres obviously going to be here for a while just because he still had the years of arbitration. Dubon is still here on a contract. Pena is going to be still here for a couple more seasons. Brian Abreu's on a contract. Jazz McCormick is still here. Jake Myers is still here. And then Luis Garcia are on contract. Everyone else is going to be in that arbitration. So they're definitely paying a lot of money. I will say that. Paying a lot of money this year with free agents. And obviously they did make a lot of trades. Obviously losing Kyle Tucker, losing Ryan Presley to the Cubs, right? That was one of their bigger trades. Obviously they couldn't re-sign Bregman back. So they just lost a lot of pieces that I feel like is going to hurt them long term. And they're going to need some of their rookies and some of the veterans to kind of step it up. Also lost Jason Hayward to the Padres as well. I know he didn't, wasn't the best player, but they also lost him. But right now on paper, they're paying $146.7 million. It's supposed to get up to 155. There are probably a couple of guys I'm missing on the baseball reference list right now. There's definitely going to be more guys I think that get put in here. But yeah, a lot of money for this team. We'll kind of see how they perform. I feel like they're going to be competitive, but I don't know. I don't feel like they're going to be as good as last year. Taking a look at their starting rotation, they got pretty much everyone in here. The starters, in my opinion, should be Blanco, Fernando Valdez, Hunter Brown, Lance McCullers should start, and Christian Javier. Those should be the 5 starters. All the other guys will probably be bullpen, or maybe they go a 6-man rotation. We'll kind of wait and see. Because then you look at their bullpen and they don't have a lot of guys, right? It's just Brian Abreu and Josh Hader who are going to be the best players. So interesting on the depth chart right now with all that stuff. But let's go over the starting 9 right now. Going to be a very interesting one. Obviously, Victor Caratini and Yonder Diaz are going to be the catchers behind the plate. Obviously, one of their new signings they did get was Christian Walker. They're paying him 3 years for like $20 million as well. So he should play first base. Obviously, Jose Altuve will play second base. Isaac Padres will play third base, and Jeremy Pena will play shortstop. Honestly, those 3 players will probably be here for the next 2 to 3 seasons just with the way their contract's set up. So I don't see, any of those positions changing, to be honest, unless one of them get injured. Then moving on over to the outfield, going to be a very interesting situation. Obviously, Dubon will probably play left field now. Jake Myers will probably play center field, and Jazz McCormick could play right. And then Yordan Alvarez will be the DH on this team, I think. But I think the main pieces are losing Bregman, which is going to hurt them. Obviously, Kyle Tucker in the outfield, and Ryan Presley in the bullpen, I think is going to really hurt them a lot. Now, moving over onto their attendance for 2024, they obviously brought 2.8 million fans into the stadium, which is about a 35,000 average. So absolutely incredible for them. I mean, the attendance has always been good. They've only struggled when they've been playing bad. So obviously they're playing good and they're making the postseason, so I'm not surprised they're having a great seasons. And they're currently the 8th best team when it comes to attendance out of the 30 teams. So really impressive from the the Astros. And then moving on over to their draft. Now, their draft is very interesting because they've obviously signed some pretty important players, which we'll talk about. But let's go over this. In the first round, they're obviously not able to participate in the draft lottery because they made the playoffs. So they're going to be picking at number 21. And then moving on down, they don't have any prospect promotion. They don't have any compensation picks. Don't have a competitive balance A pick. They also don't have their second round pick either. As we can see, the Astros, Blue Jays, Diamondbacks, Giants, Mets, Padres, Red Sox, and Yankees forfeit their second round selections as a result of signing free agents who had received qualifying offers. They obviously signed Christian Walker, who got the qualifying offer from the Diamondbacks. They don't have a second round pick, so the second round is looking very juicy, I will say that, with 8 teams not having a second round pick. I mean, that's a lot. And then moving on down to competitive balance B, they don't have a pick here either. No compensation pick as well. The third round, they do have their pick at 95. Once again, no compensation picks here. In the fourth round, they're going to be picking at 126. Once again, no compensation picks here. And in the fifth round, they're going to be picking at 156. And then in the remaining 15 rounds, these are rounds 5 through 20, they're going to be picking at number 21. So there you have it from the Astros. They don't have their second round picks. They got 19 picks in this draft to kind of make their moves. And I think it's going to be an important draft from them just because they don't have a lot of guys in the top 100, which is definitely concerning when you kind of feel like this franchise could be on the downhill now. So they might have to have a really good draft and get some good guys is what I'm thinking. I mean, they got the 21st pick, so maybe they could do something with that, but we'll kind of just wait and see. Now, my prediction for this Astros team, I do think they're going to have still a good season. They should be over 500 easily, but I just don't think they're going to win the division. I really don't think so. Maybe a wild card this year. I'm just not really confident in them. Might be like a 2023 season where we had the Rangers and Astros kind of fighting to the last kind of day of the season to see who was going to win the division, which I definitely think is a possibility. I do think the Rangers are in a position to kind of take over here if the Astros do struggle. Obviously, they struggled early on in this season in 2024, right? And they kind of had to get back on their foot, able to take the division, and they didn't stop from there. But in my opinion, they only won 88 games last year. They look weaker this year, so I'm not confident in this team to actually win the division. I do think the Rangers are going to be back on form. They were only a couple games under 500. I think they won 78 games. It's a 10-game gap, and I think, those players could be a 10-game gap, and obviously the Rangers did improve, right? I don't know. Not confident in the Astros moving forward. I think they still could make a playoff spot. I think they could go through the wild card, but I just don't think they're going to win the division. Maybe they get a little bit less than 88 games. Maybe they do the same. I just don't think they're going to improve from that. But that's my thoughts on the Houston Astros. Let me know your guys' thoughts about this team in the comment section below. I definitely thought they lost a lot of key assets in this offseason. Obviously, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about this team because it's a very interesting one. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.